welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are live from downtown cinemas to talk about Him, the football horror movie produced by Jordan Peele, starring Marlon Wayans. And we had some fun with this one. Movie, not so much, but we had a great time with this show. Joining me to talk about Him are Samantha Soriano, Korey Kilgore, and Patrick Nelson. We had a great time over there at Downtown Cinemas. Speaking of which, we will be back at Downtown Cinemas next month for Tron Ares and The Last Dragon, and maybe even another one. We'll talk about that soon enough, as soon as it gets confirmed. So more live shows on the way. Make sure to start entering to win some tickets. I'll also be back at Maya Cinemas for Begonia at the end of October. So check out piecingpod.com for all the details. Also, I'm always looking for new guests for these live shows. So if you're in Las Vegas, if you're hearing this and you want to be on a show sometime, get in touch. I'd love to have you on sometime. So with that said, let's talk about Him. All right, so I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast. We're going to talk about Him, but before we get into it, I do want to introduce my guests. First of all, Patrick Nelson, first time on the show. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey everybody, it's me, Patrick Nelson. I'm so happy to be here. This is my first time on the show, and again, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you're a filmmaker, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah, right on. Awesome, right on. Samantha Soriano back on the show. Happy to have her back.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be back. Always love doing these with you guys. Yeah.
All right, right on. And Korey Kilgore, it's been like a year, I think.
Yeah, man, it's been a while, man.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be back here. And I think this is my third time with you. So.
Third or fourth?
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, definitely glad to be back, man. Getting back to the podcast game. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we'll have some fun talking about this one. That's
yes,
for
sir.
sure. I'll just say right up front. I mean, obviously, this movie. Not great, but we'll talk about the things that are good and the things that are bad along the way. But I was super psyched for this movie, and I am not a sports guy whatsoever, but I just thought the idea of like devil Faustian bargain kind of thing in the world of sports just sounded so wacky, just so ridiculous, and could have made for so much fun. And I still think that there's some fun to be had. I just think it just doesn't come together in the way that I would hope. It did not tie
together to me at all.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be tough to come up with the positives, but that doesn't matter for our podcast here, because we're gonna talk puzzle pieces of what we do here. We talk about a movie through the lens of what movies might have inspired the movie that we just watched, and that's how Piecing It Together works. And I think let's just start getting right into it, because that'll be a lot more fun than just bagging on this movie the whole time. So anyway, I'm going to go with the first one that I thought of, which I thought of when I first saw the trailer and got psyched for this movie, and I still think it applies, and that is Whiplash. As far as a teacher who is just putting their student through so much abuse to the point of like, why do you even want to do this? Like, I understand you want to be the GOAT. I understand that you want to play this game and be a star and make all this money and all that stuff, but it's not fun anymore, you know? Right. And I think Marlon Wayans is the best thing about this movie, and he's certainly taking a page out of that J.K. Simmons playbook of just going all out and just being a total piece of shit. And that's when this movie like kind of takes off and actually is pretty fun a little bit here and there, is when he is like really going for broke. I don't know this lead actor though, that like he kind of can carry a movie like this, but that's a big part of it, I think. But whenever we do focus on Marlon Wayans just being an asshole and just being super over the top, at least it kind of opens up a little bit. Any of you guys thinking about Whiplash as well, or am I?
That you say it definitely with the over the top and the intenseness of what he brought to it.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it was kind of. I don't know if I can still take him serious as a serious actor.
He's really good when he gets the roles. It just never happens.
What was the last one? I think he was Requiem for a Dream.
I mean, that was great.
I mean, he was great in that, in a serious role. But Whiplash was definitely good.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And he deserves more. He's a good actor.
Yes.
It just doesn't always get those parts.
Right.
But Patrick, let's go to one from you.
I would have to say, from this perspective, I would have to say like Apartment 7A from like a prequel for Rosemary's Baby. Like we have this
Sure.
whole dynamic of someone at their lowest point getting a second shot at redemption. And again, we all know Marlon Wayans as a comic, but when he plays something like this, I just don't like physically see him like accomplishing that, you know?
It's a tough uphill battle, and especially when you don't have, I don't know if they felt a lot of trust in the director in making this movie or not, but he clearly didn't like have it. It's not him for making this movie, but yeah, you needed a lot of trust to like just go all out, and that's really tough. But that's an interesting puzzle piece, though. Apartment 70. I actually never saw it, but the idea of even trying to take on a prequel to Rosemary's Baby is a big enough thing that it's like, oh man, you gotta like have something if you're gonna go for it. And I feel like this movie, you needed something more to like really go for a movie that tries to do this much.
Right.
Yeah. So no, that's a really interesting one. I like that. Let's go to one from you, Samantha.
I was probably gonna wait a little bit, but bouncing off just because you started off pretty strong with that choice. I was gonna say Rosemary's Baby,
Okay.
mainly just because at the end it falls to the conclusion of like his dad being the one who basically betrayed him and sacrificed his whole life to get him to where he's at. I do agree, though, the film kind of does fall flat. I feel like it does take a lot from a lot of different films, occult films, movies like Whiplash or like Black Swan, things like that, where it's like obsession meets like Satanism /
Sure.
occult.
Yeah.
In this, I don't know, it's just like a wacky film that I feel like that's the trope that a lot of directors try to use now, is like, let's mix some sort of occult with an obsession, and in this case is like taking that example of American fans with football and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not stepping on any puzzle pieces here, but ever since Midsommar, it's kind of like let's just have cults and let's just have Satanism and all that kind of stuff, which of course itself was inspired by Rosemary's
I think
Baby.
even with Hereditary, like,
Even
that
that
was
too.
very. I was like the end too. Same concept. Like a family member sacrificed the
Yeah.
whole family, basically. So.
It's interesting too. Again, not to just bag on this director, but like, all the cult stuff really doesn't show up until the end of the movie, and throughout this movie, we just get like, oh, there's a quick shot of something, and it's like
it didn't show up to you to the end of the movie.
yeah.
It was in the very first.
Well,
5,
we
10
knew
minutes
it
for
was
me.
happening because it was so obvious.
Yeah,
but
I'm
they
gonna
didn't
say
show
yeah,
it. Though.
yeah. I'm gonna say the first 5 minutes of the movie for me, it was in your face.
Yeah, it was so obvious that it was going in that direction. It just didn't really do anything with
Right,
it. But
right.
yeah, Korey, let's go to one from you.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, right? Making a deal with the devil to get what you want in life. Are you going to sell your soul away so you can have everything you want in life?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great great story, not a story, but a way to tie everything in. Like, am I going to sacrifice for what I really want, or am I going to stay true to myself?
Yeah,
You know?
No,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think even though Whiplash didn't have any supernatural element, I think they're both just big, huge performances and like characters that are just horrific.
Yeah.
And, it's just so much fun to watch. And then to, like I said, Marlon Wayans being the best part of this, it's so much fun to watch someone just go all out. with
Yeah.
something like that.
He did lay it all out there though,
Yeah.
as far as his performance. So definitely.
I'm going to go one I was just thinking as the movie was ending and we're just waiting here. I was thinking of Barton Fink, the Coen brothers, Barton Fink. As far as that's a movie about John Turturro. He's in this hotel room. He's trying to adapt this book. He's a screenwriter. I think it's a play that he's trying to adapt into a film. And his writer's block is just causing him to like kind of hallucinate and is basically in hell, and like the parallels between the Hollywood and the industry and hell and all that kind of stuff. And here it's kind of transposing that into the world of sports and just the team leaders and just everything that someone has to do to actually make it in this particular industry. So similar ideas there. That's a really, really great movie, and one I really recommend anybody watch if you haven't seen Barton Fink. But John Turturro is fantastic in it, and as far as like a character who's losing their mind, but then they're also kind of in charge of what's happening too. They're still the protagonists. They're still figuring it out along the way. It's a great movie for something like that. So, Patrick, let's go to you.
So mainly, I would just have to say I don't think I might be jumping to the ending right here, but honestly, I feel like the ending just doesn't really work in this sense. Like he doesn't really exactly give in. I just feel like that part doesn't really work at all, especially with these kinds of films. Like from what we've seen, like with Hereditary, mainly Hereditary. It's just they always give in to the glory, the Satanism, and we see the next king, we see the next goat. And honestly, I was actually ready to see that. I was actually ready to, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But no, that actually did take me back. Like, oh, he didn't give in. Like, no, I think that's just no. I didn't like this movie then.
I love that he didn't give in.
Yeah.
I love that he didn't give in. He stayed true to who he is as a person. I think it said so much more about him in the movie than the rest of the movie. That's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating because I do like that, but at the same time, it's like as a story, it's like what the hell happens after that? Those credits roll. Like,
Yes,
like
or how the dude slid into the middle of the of the thing that was in the middle.
just impossible to wrap that thing up. But yeah. So Samantha, let's get on from you.
This I feel like because it definitely was not the best film. So trying to compare it to like maybe Dario Argento's Suspiria, where I think the ending also of that film doesn't really make sense. Where like
that's true.
You know, you have this ballerina going into a dance school, a bunch of weird stuff is happening. I think it's like honestly, I think someone on Letterboxd was like, "This is Suspiria for boys," and I would 100% agree. Just because it's a beautiful to look at, like cool to look at, cool visuals, like cool concept. It just didn't like end up the way that maybe a lot of us expected it to, and just the ending as well as Suspiria, where it's like, okay, you escaped or you didn't, fall for this sacrifice, but what happened? Like, what's next?
Yeah, exactly. I saw someone call it Black Swan for boys, but same basic concept there. But I saw someone else, and I was really excited to bring up Ken Russell, but then it just wasn't there. Like somebody else mentioned, it was like Ken Russell making a football movie, basically, but it just wasn't there. Like the Suspiria comparison, I mean, it's definitely fits, but like at the same time, I wish this movie got more surreal, more weird. The director didn't seem to have the tools to like pull off anything that was really trippy or weird or surreal or anything like that.
I mean, I think even with, I guess that's why a lot of people are confused with Jordan Peele producing, not directing. And
Right.
I think they based the whole marketing on Jordan Peele produced. And so a lot of people had that misunderstanding. And I also think he did base a lot of his, like, I would say this had a lot of inspo takes of like Nope. Just the like kind of uncanniness of a lot of like the small details of like the cheerleaders with no face,
Right.
and just a lot of different things. So I would say he definitely took some inspo from Jordan Peele as well.
He definitely did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Get Out vibes all the way through the movie. Yeah.
If anything, through the symbolism of this film, you can definitely say that Jordan Peele had a hand in this, just not with the whole directing, so to speak. That's what makes it stand out.
Yeah,
Right.
that's probably why he was willing to put his name on it so prominently, is because it's like, well, yeah, I guess like if this connects, like it feels like me.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
So yeah, absolutely. Corey, let's go to another one over there.
Let's go to a sports movie. Let's go to Any Given Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it's
sure.
right there. Football and people doing anything and everything to put their lives on the line for what they want. Doesn't matter if it hurts. Far from you can tie in the doctor from Any Given Sunday to the sports medicine guy that Marlon had on staff.
Yeah.
Willing to pump these guys up with any drug you want. We doing blood transfusions. Let's go. Anything to get you back on the field.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? The guy throwing 50 mile an hour balls to the face. Like, come on, man. You're like, same thing. So yeah, Any Given Sunday for me was right there.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely one that belongs in the conversation. I got to say also, as a not sports guy, when that whole training sequence and the football, I was like, well, isn't this just how training is for
No.
football?
No.
I have no idea.
No.
It seems like a very violent sport. That's what
It is a very violent sport, but no.
Yeah.
Balls to the face like that? Nah.
Yeah,
We're not doing
that
that.
would probably be a bit much. All right, I'm going to go with Smile 2. I love the Smile movies. They're really great horror movies that really do interesting, exciting things that are more than what you would expect from just the general horror movie of the week, like lately of the past few years. Smile 2 specifically took the idea of this smile demon that transmits from person to person, and took it to Hollywood, basically, really to the music business, but it's adjacent. But the idea of what fans, the industry, listeners, what all of that takes from somebody and just drives them insane and depletes them of their life force and all that kind of stuff. Smile 2 did a really great job at that, and made the whole thing just feel, again, like, to bring it back to when I was talking about Whiplash, like, why do you want this anymore at this point? Like, I get it. It's fame, it's money, it's all, but come on, it's just terrible at this point. And Smile 2 really nailed that point home. And I think that that's what this is going for too. Yeah. Like that, all this stuff just drags you down. It takes everything out of you. And, it's a really interesting idea to put that into the world of sports. So I definitely applaud the idea of trying it, even if we all agree it didn't quite work exactly.
Right.
But Patrick, one more from you?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, because apparently who doesn't want to like reach to the top, whether it comes to dancing, sports, even film related stuff. It's just, it drains you, because like piggybacking from what you said, Samantha, about Black Swan, it just takes so much effort and energy in that it completely drains you and pretty much drives you nuts up the walls. Like, it makes you do pretty crazy, insane stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just mainly just from what we've seen here in Smile 2, at Black Swan, like, it's just, everything comes at a cost, from what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get yourself where you want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, the Faustian thing, I mean, that goes all the way back to that, and everything that has inspired over the years, and so much art and so many stories and all that kind of stuff. So, Samantha, let's go to one more from you.
I think just aligning, because I feel like everyone's choices all fall into the same category, whether it's like scary, demonic, or just obsession crazed. I think one I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with is I think it came out last year, Late Night with the Devil, where
I'm wearing a shirt.
I think that's where I kid you not, I think that's maybe because that was not going to be one of my choices, but looking at your shirt and then just thinking about how a lot of people talking about this film were thinking about the industry and the sinister stuff about the behind the scenes of, in this case, the football industry. And in that film, it was more so talk shows and how this guy's talk show was kind of falling down on some like, what is it? He turned into a late night show. He had like the first show in the day or whatever. And so he made a pact with the devil. And so I do think in this case, he did, in the film Him, he didn't. He decided not to sacrifice. But like he said, he works for his stuff. So the ending of the film, I guess, has a lot of questions for me too. So
yeah. It's funny because like I wore this just totally randomly, but like I do wish it had gone in more of that kind of direction. Like I think the idea of like nothing's working, so oh shit, I'm gonna make this horrible deal, like it would have made more sense. And then maybe he still gets out of it in the end and like says no to them. And again, I don't know how that works, but at least it's like something where somebody's just beaten down so far that they are susceptible to that kind of thing. But yeah, Late Night with the Devil is a very cool movie, and I think it's a good pick to include here. So one more from you over there, Korey.
I'm gonna go one more sports movie, The Fan.
The Fan.
Yeah. So you got the fan sitting there outside his gate. I mean, outside the man's house. They sneak into the house, but also on the reverse side, Marlon Wayans being so obsessed with the fans.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch film. And I'm so glad they finally showed what film was. I'm going to go watch these fans screaming my name.
Yeah.
That was his film. So showing that he was that obsessed with himself and the fandom of that. So yeah, that was that reminded me of that.
I love that. And yeah, I again, to bring it back to Marlon Wayans being the best part of this, I love that too. Yeah. Like I think that character beat is just so sick and just great. And it definitely drives home the themes of the movie so well, and does it better than like a lot of what happens to the main characters.
Yeah.
So it's a really great moment. And the fan to bring it up as an example of this. I like that stuff with all the crazed fans out there and all that.
We don't want you.
Yeah. That's some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I want to open it up to the floor, see if we have anything out here. Anybody think of anything that we haven't brought up yet? We got over there?
Well, I mean, there's several films that came to my head, like The Substance, like, say, like Black Swan for guys.
Yeah.
You know, Suspiria for guys. I mean, The Substance for guys.
Sure.
You know, with injecting the, you know, whatever steroid-like substance that the doctor was giving Cameron, and you know, the close-up of the eyeballs and things like that. Concussion, you know, Will Smith movie.
Oh, yeah, Concussion.
The X-rays of the guys when they're, you know, tackling each other and when they're having the big fight at the end. And then also, I don't know if you guys, some of you might know this movie, but Brian De Palma's early film, one of his early films called Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, sure.
So it's at that time, it was made in the 70s, a modern retelling of Phantom of the Opera, but it's set in the world of music instead of sports. But it's the same thing. It's like the Faustian bargain, because Swan is like this big movie or not music mogul.
Yeah.
And he gets, you know, the people around him just sign a contract with the devil. He signed a contract with the devil, and you know, he has to go watch a tape. You know, like
Sure.
how Isaiah watches a tape. He watches a tape so that he can still keep this bargain with the devil and stay young forever.
That's a cool one. I just watched that movie for the first time last year, and it's absolutely wild, Phantom of the Paradise. And it's funny, between that and The Substance, two movies that do such a better job of the visuals, like the weird visuals of, like you said, the close up of the eye. Here it's just like, oh, here's a close-up of an eye. In The Substance, it's like sound design and like effects and just everything. It's just like, oh man, this needed more of that energy, more of that excitement, some really like show-stoppy kind of filmmaking, you know, and it just didn't have it. But right over there.
It reminded me of Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Yeah, the way that everybody was in on a like a political conspiracy, and he knows that it was happening but didn't know, and then that last scene when everything blows up in their face, I felt was kind of congruent or parallel to Don't Look Up.
Yeah, I think the idea that it all just kind of comes crashing down, all the evil plans.
They all get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We're all for that around here. So yeah, for sure. Right over here.
I'll say Kill Bill.
Kill
Near
Bill.
the end when she's fighting the crazy 88 and very over the top, you know, blood and different maiming tactics.
Very Quentin Tarantino-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just get some practical blood though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please. Right up there.
So, I like the movie.
Okay, good.
I did. I don't know if it was just that I went in it for expectations of like movie with blood and something sports.
Yeah, sure.
Which I succeeded. I was like, yep, blood and something sports. I do want to. I'm gonna counter the Faustian comparisons though, because Faust goes in and knowingly makes the deal with Mephistopheles.
Right.
And then the story plays out as his aftermath. And I actually think this story is much more closely related to Jordan Peele's production company, the Legend of the Monkey's Paw, right?
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for, because this is what he wanted his whole life, or what he thought he wanted his whole life, and then here it is in front of him, and he's actually like, no, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's almost like a sidestep of what we kind of thought going in, and then it's this other kind of parable that works much better with the actual plotting of the film here. And so, yeah, I think that's really a good one to bring up here. So.
And then I do want to the comparison to Get Out when the guy was like, run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I was like, yeah. And then white people profiting off the physicality of black bodies. And
Of man. Yeah.
Yeah.
the white savior complex in the movie.
Yeah.
Then they team name the saviors, then you got the whole white panel of owners and everything else. Yeah.
Laying it on a little bit thick in the movie. But,
a little bit. But they take that back, not to jump off, but I mean, they say football, the combine, is a modern day slave trade, right?
Yeah.
The way they got it, the way they had him, they measured every single piece of that man's body.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there can't be comparisons.
And again, that is like such a great idea, and I think it's rushed over.
Yes.
And like it just doesn't really. It's
Definitely.
so many good ideas of bringing this kind of story into the world of sports, and it's rushed over, and it's just not really not really explored, unfortunately.
Right.
But any others out here in the crowd? Right up there.
I want to say, like, the psychological sense, I'd say Donnie Darko.
Okay.
I really wish it delved into the more psychological sense of it, because in the trailer, that's how it's kind of marketed. But also in the religious sense, I would say the recent movie Heretic, the way it was, like, heavily religious, iconography all throughout, but, like, it just fumbled.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us back to like Rosemary's Baby and Midsommar and like all these kind of things that like all get really deep into that like Satanism kind of stuff. And Heretic's a very fun movie, really fun one. But Donnie Darko with the costumes kind of also kind of bring it back to that too, which the costumes are very odd and whatnot. But interesting stuff there for sure. Anybody else before we get into some closing thoughts?
One more that just came into my mind was Megalopolis.
Oh boy.
Because the way that they did the whole party sequence or other cuts in that film, because like there's this big Roman like circus type of sequence in Megalopolis, and Caesar Catalina, he takes some kind of drugs and he's like seeing these wild visions. That's what kind of reminded me of like the cutting in this movie. The editing was very Megalopolis, Coppola-like.
Yeah.
At least for that particular film, real kind of trying to be trippy, but it's not exactly.
Yeah.
not exactly like it doesn't quite work.
It doesn't quite work in Megalopolis, and it doesn't.
That film either.
Yeah. So and both movies are just so hypercritical of like those in charge, whatever that may be, and so I think it kind of goes hand in hand in that respect as well. So. That is a wild movie for sure. So let's get into some closing thoughts here. Patrick, anything we didn't quite talk about you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I actually have several few. One pretty funny, like when Cam gets home, like how is he going to explain this all to his like family and everything like that? Like,
Yeah, how'd training go?
Yeah.
Oh, have
It's
I
wild.
seen some?
It's wild, Mom.
Yeah, just wow. Second of all, am I the only one who saw like The Last Supper when it came to that photo shoot
definitely
sequence?
did. Oh, yes.
Another thing that bothered the hell out of me about this director and his visual sense, they showed it for 1 second. Why bother? Like,
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah.
it's just so, everything was just, I don't know.
Last closing statement. When you say rush, I feel like it was pretty rushed too. Like, I mean, I may not have sensed it, but I got the feeling that maybe he would have gotten Julia Fox or one of those girls pregnant, and then the cycle would continue. He got that he would fall under Isaiah's mentorship. He became the new GOAT. Like, the cycle continues. Like, I just felt like if it was really like one of those cult types of movies, he would just keep going around the house, keep discovering dark secrets on his own. It definitely did feel rushed in my own sense.
Do you guys think Julia Fox showed up to set just looking like that? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
It's just Julia Fox playing Julia
That's
Fox.
just
Yeah,
Julia
and,
Fox.
and she came with everything, correct? Am I in that? Am I wrong in that? Like once he signed the contract, now that's his girl. Like, is that what that was what I took from that?
That's just how it works. Absolutely. Samantha, closing thoughts.
Overall, I guess just with the film, I wouldn't say it was the worst. It wasn't the best. I think a lot of people's expectations, at least in my case, from a lot of reviews prior to the film's release, were a lot of people thinking with the trailers like CTE scans, this was going to open more into the athlete brain trauma, like what the brain damage can do to like an athlete in this case, and how crazy they in many cases like athletes murder their own families, murder like other people. That's the route I thought the film was going to take.
That would have been interesting. Yeah.
And I'm kind of disappointed it didn't, but otherwise I do think with the rush of the film, quote unquote, the rush that we all think it is just the director trying to throw in a lot of different, like we've said, Hereditary, we've said The Substance, and I do think it takes on a lot of those tropes, but not in a good way, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What about you, Korey?
from the opening scene and everything with the shrine and with them, just that thrown to football really kind of hit home for me with what people would do. The movie also hit a little bit home. I have a nephew who plays college ball, so it kind of hit home for me in that sense. Like, what is my nephew sacrificing to make it to the league? You know what I'm saying? So, form your own opinion. I would definitely watch the movie. It's definitely a watchable movie. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But form your own opinion about it.
Well, no, and that was actually going to be my closing thoughts, because Marlon Wayans took to social media today or yesterday to say, like, I respect the critics, but like, look at all of my previous movies that people think are classics and the terrible ratings that they've all gotten. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, say it, Marlon Wayans. Because, like, it's 100% true. And that's why I went into tonight. I was super excited. I thought this movie looked like it could be a really fun time. It didn't work out exactly. But still, make your own opinion, 100%. Do not listen to other people. And then if it's bad, it's bad. If it's great, then you own it and you love a movie that just got bad reviews. Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
We didn't walk out, so hey, there's that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah. Good point there. Well, Patrick, where can people find you and everything you're up to?
You can mainly check me out on Instagram. I'm just trying to build myself up again. I've been trying to get into more writing, helping out on more sets. So if you need anything, just send me a DM. I'll be happy to check some things out, read your stuff, or if you want to check out some of my stuff, you could just look me up.
Awesome. How about you, Samantha?
What's the handle?
Patrick.Nelson Jr. at Instagram. Yeah.
There you go.
Gotcha. If you guys would like to just follow my film page, I have a film page and a personal page, but both are kind of film related because that's all I really share about, to be honest. At Sam Base and at Film School Textbook.
Awesome. And Korey?
You can find me on IG at Big Kill, BIGKIL. My old podcast is still up on IG and YouTube, Killing Tyme Podcast. That's Killing TYME Podcast. All our old episodes are still up there. So you want to catch up on some funny stuff that we used to talk about, you can find us there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to thank Downtown Cinemas for having us out. We'll be back here on October 9th for Tron Ares. And then we'll be back on October 19th for The Last Dragon, the 40th anniversary. And then we'll be at Maya Cinemas on October 30th for Begonia. And we might be back here for Good Boy also in October, which I am so excited for that movie.
The Last Dragon, like Show Enough The Last Dragon?
Show Enough The Last Dragon.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely pulling up for that.
Yeah, come on out. It's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. All right, well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Awesome.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about him. Thank you to Downtown Cinemas for having us out. Thank you to Korey Kilgore, Patrick Nelson, and Samantha Soriano for joining me on that one. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up to Downtown Cinemas for the show. And, of course, thank you to you for listening to this episode of Piecing It Together. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you are subscribed wherever you're listening right now. You could also follow us on social media at Piecing Pod and join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies that we talk about here on the show. I told you at the top of the show, we've got more live shows coming, so get entered to win for those at piecingpod.com, and get in touch if you ever want to join me for one of these. I am always looking for new people to join the show. And with that, I think it's time for me to play a piece of music to close us out. And I've got a lot of fitnessy kind of workout kind of stuff that I could go with. What should I go with? Something. Yeah, I should do something like that. You know what? I'm going to go with a track. It's from my album, my self-titled album, David Rosen. The song is called With Purpose. And I always thought of this one as like a real workout, one of these training montage kind of songs. So yeah, let's go with Purpose from my self-titled David Rosen album, which came out in 2020. Hope you enjoy it, and we will be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.